Hello, everyone.
Hi.
And welcome back to Asiaern. You got chick and you got dumpling.
So today we are going to take the fish that we caught at the Pay Lake, which we talked about in our previous episode, and we're gonna make two dishes. One is an Asian dish, an Asian fish dish. That is, oh, I like the sound of that, an Asian fish dish.
Asian fish dish.
It was passed down to me from my mother. That's a really dramatic way of saying it. It's just a fish my mom cooked a lot. I have loved this recipe forever. It's really simple, and I decided that since it was so common in my family, I wanted to share it with you because you're my family right now.
Love you.
A thing when it came to cooking my Asian fish is that my mom never measures anything in the kitchen. So it was kind of daunting because I was like, oh God, I'm like truly experimenting right now because my mom just does muscle memory. So I'm going to like copy what I think is her muscle memory. So I was just like throwing soy sauce in a bowl and I was like, yeah, I think that's enough. And I used your steamer, which I'd actually never done before. In my mom's home, we just have like this little metal rim that a plate rests on in a pot of boiling water. And then we just lit it, put a lid on it.
We can thank Rachel Ray for that.
Thank you, Rachel Ray.
Thank you, Rachel Ray.
So I put the fish in the steamer. I topped it with some green onions and ginger, steamed it, and then I made like a nice little marinade of soy sauce and apple cider vinegar, actually, which was a interesting take. Yeah. But it worked really, really well.
I will just let you know, it was delicious. Delicious. I was blown away. Blown. Like, it was beautiful presentation-wise, but if only you could put it in your mouth.
I was actually really afraid because I'd never used the steamer before that I hadn't cooked the fish long enough, and the last thing I was gonna let myself do was serve Vincent uncooked fish.
Listen, if I wanted sushi, we would have got sushi.
Yeah, that's a good point. What were your favorite flavors that stuck out to you?
My favorite, so the ginger was so present in the fish. The ginger, the sesame oil, and I got a sweetness that was all the sesame oil and the soy sauce with the ginger, because the ginger brings a spice that is not as common to the American tongue because we don't use ginger as a spice in the same way.
Yeah.
So it was very exciting and it was delicious.
Thank you.
Delicious.
Oh, thank you.
So I make a lot of catfish, but today I wanted to take a spin on catfish, fried catfish as we know it, and I wanted to make fried catfish poppers.
Yeah.
On a bed of purple coleslaw.
So many cool colors going on right now.
Listen, we had some bumps in the road for the catfish pinwheels because at first I tried a deep frying method, which effectively sounds like it makes sense, but when you're talking about almost room temperature cream cheese going into boiling hot oil, and it's like being held together by literally nothing, it makes no sense to deep fry it, which is what I found out. So then we decided to pan fry them, and then they turned out great.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
They were perfect.
Yeah.
Vincent also made a bonus dish because he's that amazing that he wanted to make extra food.
Yeah, and I made a stuffed trout, completely experimental.
I had never had trout stuffed before.
Yeah.
So that was funky.
It was really exciting. And we played around with a similar ideology that we did with the catfish pinwheels, but this trout was deboned and basically laid out on like a plank fillet, and I just stuffed that fillet and laid it out with some olive oil, stuck it in the oven.
Yeah. So what was in the stuffed trout?
So in the stuffed trout, I had a filling, the same filling that I use for the pinwheels. So it's just basically a cream cheese, spinach, your garlic, your salt, your peppers, and your cheddar cheese, and your chives, and your parsley. So many fun things, so many creamy, delicious things to counteract this crunchy salt that we're getting.
Oh yeah. Those flavors were so punchy. Like they just like really like, I don't know, like they kind of, I don't want to say they like attacked your tongue and your palate, but like they bursted. You put it in your mouth and suddenly there was just layers and layers of like bursting flavor, like fireworks almost. And I thought the pinwheels were so cute because I don't know, I'm a big fan of like bite-sized portion food or like little morsels that you can hold in your fingers and just eat your way through. I really, really liked how the texture of your cream cheese mixture blended with the texture of the catfish. And especially because they were pinwheels, so the filling was inside like this little catfish roll
strip thing.
Yeah, and it just, it came together so nicely in your mouth. And that jalapeno, like I'm not actually the biggest fan of spicy food, but I think that jalapeno added so much dimension, like to the fullness of the flavor. And then I was such a fan of the stuffed trout, simply because I think like, I don't know, like stuffing trout, like it's almost like you're making a taco with the fish and then you put all the filling in it and it all just like holds together really well. It makes like a new texture in itself. And like you have that crispy skin of the trout, so you're right, you have like a lot of textural play. Ooh, it was just so nuanced. And on your bed of coleslaw, that was a great touch too, because those vegetables are crunchy, you know, and the fish is more mushy. So you have a great blend of just textures exploding in your mouth. Can also bonus points for that purple coleslaw, because like if we're talking about presentation,
let me just say my one of my uncles, Uncle Pancho, made this purple coleslaw when I was like maybe in middle school, and I tasted it and created my own based off of my head, and that's the closest thing that I can get to it. But it's delicious, and like the idea of using purple cabbage and jalapenos, and this is stuff that I heard years and years ago. So I just have kind of created my own purple slaw. But that's where the inspiration comes from.
It's wonderful. It's so, I feel like it's like kind of iconic in that. It's special to like your family, right? This purple slaw, like those colors, it's unique. You don't find that in other places. How did you feel about the bones in my fish? Because when growing up as a kid, we never deboned our fish. So we just had to learn how to maneuver those bones through the meat and not choke on the bones.
So this is a moment that I like talked about. The cultures are so similar because growing up, a lot of the fish that we catch and eat in the South have so many bones in them. And catfish is one of the few fish that you can fillet and have these boneless pieces of meat. But the game fish like crappie and bluegill and bass, all of those things, basically we fry them and cook them with the bones in them. So I'm used to picking around bones. So it was like totally fine for me. It was like,
I didn't know that. That's wonderful.
Yeah. We hope you enjoyed today's episode of Asiaern.
Stay tuned for more delicious and delectable episodes in the future. Who knows what we're going to be cooking next?
Yeah, and remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And you can follow us at chick_in_dumpling. Okay? We'll see y'all on the next episode.